Good morning. Welcome to Escoffier Online. My name is Chef Caesar. Today I want to prepare for you a dish that's very typical in Mexican cuisine. It's called chiles en nogada, which translates to stuffed peppers in a walnut cream sauce. And to give you a little bit of history in this dish, it's believed this dish was prepared for the Spanish emperor to Mexico by a group of nuns and the state of Puebla. So since then, it's been like a typical dish, and it's prepared between the months of November to January when walnuts are in season, and also pomegranates, which is one of the important ingredients that go on this dish as a garnish. So this is when this dish is most of the time is done. So we're gonna start by making our filling. I'm using some poblano peppers, which I already roasted, and they're ready to go. And you wanna roast this over an open fire, which is very easy to just char the skin, and then you put them in a plastic bag to make it easy to peel them. But let's get going with our filling. There's a lot of ingredients. I'm going to kind of go through all of them once I add them to the pan here. But let's start by sauteing some onions and garlic. I got a little oil here, just regular oil would be fine. So we're going to sweat our onions here. Sometimes you're going to see this recipe done with some chicken or pork or even like shredded beef. I'm using some ground beef today, but there's some little variations sometimes that can be done. But there's a lot of fruits in here, some spices. They go on this dish. And if you are using like fresh walnuts, one thing you want to do, you want to actually peel them before you do any of this, because it's a little time consuming. They're actually better when used fresh, but you can also use peel. I kind of went ahead and did some fresh, so you want to get them out of the shell and peel them. The way to do them, you want to boil some water and just put it over the peel walnuts and leave them there for until the water cools down enough where you are able to handle them, so you can peel the skin. That's an easy way to do them, but sometimes you might have to add a second set of hot water because sometimes the skin's a little tough. But if you want to use just peel walnuts, that's okay too. It's going to save you a lot of time, but I like to use fresh because, in my opinion, they're better sometimes. When you're using already peeled walnuts, it might be a little rancid, and you don't want that. You want a really nice fresh walnuts for this sauce. Okay, now that we have our onions and our garlic sweater here, I'm going to add my ground beef. If you guys have any questions along the way, please feel free to let me know. A little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, now that my meat is cooked, I'm going to go over the ingredients. I got some apples, some peaches, and some pears in this dish. I also got some citron, some green olives, some capers, some tomatoes, peeled and seeded. Also, I got over here some almond slivers, and also some raisins here. I got some sherry I'm going to be using, a little bit of cinnamon, some cloves. Be careful when you're using cloves, they're very strong, so you don't want to put too much because you give you a really strong flavor. I got some a little bit of sugar here, a little chicken stock, I got some plantains over here. So there's a lot of ingredients that go into the filling, but I'm gonna just cook the meat a little bit more before I start adding all those fruits and spices in here. And you want to break down the meat when you're cooking this, otherwise it's gonna stick together, and you're gonna end up with some like big chunks of meat stuck together. So you want to kind of break it down. If you see there's a lot of liquid in the pan, you want to drain some of that. I got some really lean meat, so there's not a lot of fat in there. And I'm going to add some of my raisins, my almonds. This is a little harder, so. And plantains. Once you have all the ingredients ready to go, really it's very simple to put this dish together. Also, the classic ways to serve this dish is room temperature. You don't serve it hot, so you want to kind of cool down. Today I'm not going to do that because short on time, but normally you would like make the filling and allow it to cool down. So once you stuff the peppers, it's very cold, and it's just serve at room temperature normally. I'm going to add the rest of the fruits, apples. I'm using one of each, one apple, one peach, and one pear. Yes, we have a question. Okay, it's actually the same thing. What's the difference between citron and lemon? Normally for this dish, the citron is made with a cactus leaf, but I wasn't able to find it. But I was just getting, I got the regular citron that you find like in Italian cooking, for example, in the cannolis. So you can just use the same thing. But normally for this dish, citron is they make it from it's a crystallized cactus leaf. So I'm going to add some of my seasonings here. Cinnamon. A little chicken stock here too. My tomatoes. And we're going to simmer this for a few minutes here to get all the ingredients nice and soft. If you want, it's optional. I made in a little bit of sugar, about 1 teaspoon. Get a little sweet flavor in there. So we're going to let it simmer here. In the meantime, I want to start making my sauce. I got some already peeled walnuts here that are done. I got some goat cheese. If you guys don't care for goat cheese, cream cheese will definitely work. Also, I've used in the past mascarpone cheese. It's the cheese that we use in Italian cooking for like tiramisu, for example. And it's really creamy. It works really well. So you can also use that. So I'm going to throw this in the blender. Excuse me. So my walnuts go in the blender. I'm usually about 1.5 cups of walnuts here. Gotta be careful, my dish is not too big, my blender here. About 6 ounces of goat cheese. I made in some evaporated milk and some half and half. Just got half cream. So it's gonna be a nice and creamy sauce. About 1 teaspoon of sugar, a little sherry, 1 tablespoon. Gives a nice sweet flavor. And now I'm going to add some of my evaporated milk. I'm not going to use all of it because in case it gets a little bit too runny, I don't want it. So I want to make sure that it has a nice consistency. So I'm going to just use like 3/4 of the can first. About 1 teaspoon of cinnamon here. Now we're going to blend all this together to a nice puree, as you can see. I'm going to add a little bit of sherry to my filling here. I'm going to check, make sure it's got enough seasons in there. Maybe it doesn't need more salt. That's a nice and sweet flavor and all the fruits in there. Now I'm going to check for the nice consistency. Oops. Should be nice and smooth. I'm going to use some of this, a couple of the sherry. As you can see, it has a nice creamy, smooth consistency in my sauce. It has a beautiful, sweet, nutty flavor. And so that's what you want. So I'm going to put it back in here until I'm ready to plate my dish. As you can see, my stuffing is almost done. At this point, you want to turn it off, and normally I want to, allow it to cool down a little bit. But since we're like short in time, I'm gonna kind of stuff the peppers right away to show you, how to plate this dish. But at home, you want to let it cool down, so it's easier for you guys when you handle this and stuffing the peppers. You don't want to burn yourself. So let's let it sit here for a while. I'm gonna get my peppers here. like I told you guys before, this is already, these peppers have been fire roasted. I already took the seeds out and the membranes. And be careful when you do that because sometimes the seeds and the membranes can be a little hot. So I definitely recommend, wearing gloves so you can, get everything out. As you can see, they're really nice here. So I'm gonna take a couple spoonfuls of this filling that we got here with the beef, all the fruits. Got one there. Yes, we have another question here. Go right ahead. How would the poblano? Okay, the question was, how would the poblano peppers prepared? I fire roasted this on the stove top, so you turn the flame on. You can also do them in the grill, and it works really good. Just you want to make sure to char all the skin to nice, dark brown, and you just put them in a plastic bag for 5 minutes to get all the skin nice and soft. Then you just kind of rinse them off in the cold water, and really that's all you do. Some people fry them in oil. I don't like that because they get really oily. So as you can see, they're nice and clean, and there's no skin on them. So it's really easy to get them done. It's not complicated. You just want to be careful not to burn them too much. You want to rotate them so all the skin gets nice and charred, and it's really easy to take off, like I say. Yes. Okay, another suggestion for goat cheese. Okay, like I said before, if you guys don't like goat cheese, I would use a cream cheese, works well. Also, mascarpone cheese, the cheese that we use for like tiramisu and Italian cooking, that works really well too. It's very creamy and has a beautiful flavor. So if you guys don't like goat cheese, that's something you guys can also use instead. So now we're ready to plate our peppers here. Ladle. So I got my pomegranate seeds already ready here to garnish my dish. And this dish really kind of resembles, I want it to resemble the colors of the Mexican flag. The green of the peppers, the white of the sauce, and then you top it with pomegranate seeds. So we're going to put some of the sauce down on the plate so you guys can really see the consistency of the sauce. Look at that. Now we're gonna just put peppers over here. And we're gonna just top it off with some more, a little more sauce. Right across the middle. Now we're going to top this with some pomegranate seeds. Maybe a little sprig of parsley you can put in there. That's it, very nice dish to prepare. Like I said before, it's really all the prep should be done ahead of time, and once everything is ready to go, just put it together. It's very simple. So I just want to thank you guys for being here this morning, and I will see you again in a couple weeks.